Welcome to Operations Unfiltered, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of influencer and talent management. I'm your host, Zarina. On episodes when I'm not joined by a special guest, I like to run my mouth about topics that caught my attention that week. I also like to relate it back to the project management of it all. Now, my normal routine consists of a morning scroll through the Skim, which I joined back in 2018, and I love watching the Today Show. The discussion topic today was about the resurgence of 90s fashion trends and brands, namely Gap, Levi's, and Old Navy. Now, I personally never left Old Navy, but it got me thinking, what's causing this resurgence of 90s fashion brands? And how is it that Forever 21, which once dominated the market, has floundered into the abyss of bankruptcy? Dare I say, it's influencers and content creators. I know we always go back and forth about the terminology, but in this case, I truly think it was a combination of the influencer effect and the power that carefully curated content can have on business. This influence translated to booming sales and, you guessed it, the resurgence of the mall. I can't lie, the mall used to be the place to go. When I'm home in Baltimore, I love going to Towson or Columbia Mall. And I recently chatted on a previous episode with District 5's Councilman David Marks about the plans for the White Marsh Mall. That used to be a booming mall, but now there's so much dead space. I really would hate to see it fade away. And when I visit my hometown and family in Houston, oh, you better believe I hit up Katy Mills Mall and Memorial City Mall. And I know my fellow Houstonians will moan and groan, but I love the Galleria. Simply put, I think what's old is new again. When you think about the project management of it all, we're looking at a classic case of rebranding and repositioning. Brands like Levi's and Gap have done an excellent job at tapping into nostalgia while evolving to fit today's trends. But let's not overlook the role that digital marketing and, more specifically, influencer marketing has played in this resurgence. I mean, think about it. Fashion influencers on TikTok and Instagram are curating entire wardrobes built solely around the Y2K and 90s aesthetic. They're thrifting old Gap hoodies, styling baggy Levi's, and layering Old Navy tank top tees like it's 1999 all over again. And the brands, baby, they are eating it right on up. They've gone all in on partnerships with influencers who embody the aesthetic. And quite frankly, it's working. Levi's has become a staple in Gen Z closets. Gap's iconic logo hoodies are suddenly cool again. And Old Navy, I mean, it's quietly been serving family-friendly fashions that now align with the cozy, effortless aesthetic of the moment. And quiet as it's kept, if you see me and my family out, 9 times out of 10, we're wearing Old Navy. Now, contrast this with Forever 21. Forever 21 was once the mall's reigning fast fashion queen. But they struggled to pivot when influencer culture shifted towards sustainability, quality, and nostalgia. And instead of rebranding in a way that leaned into the Y2K revival, they continued pumping out fleeting trends with questionable quality. And unfortunately, when the influencer tide turned, Forever 21 got left behind. And let's face it, we're not 21 anymore. But here's the real kicker. Malls themselves are seeing a bit of a renaissance. If you've stepped into a mall recently, you may have noticed something. It's not just about shopping anymore. Malls are becoming experience hubs. They are influencer friendly, pop up exhibits, nostalgic food court staples are making a comeback, and curated shopping experiences are truly designed for social media moments. I mean, even White Marsh Mall, which I mentioned earlier, has the potential to pivot into a multi use community space instead of just another retail graveyard. From a marketing project management perspective, we're witnessing the power of adaptability. The brands that survived, well, they saw where culture was headed and adjusted their approach. They invested in digital first strategies, collaborated with influencers who actually wear and love their products, and they understood that nostalgia sells, but only when done right. So, what's the takeaway here? The next time you see a trend making a comeback, let's look beyond the surface. There's a strategic plan behind it. It's not just about a cute outfit, it's about timing, storytelling, and tapping into a cultural moment that people are excited to relive. And with that, I want to hear from you. Are you a fan of the 90s fashion revival? Do you think malls are really making a comeback, or is it just a phase? Let's talk about it on Threads or Instagram, and let's keep this conversation going. Make sure you follow me at Lady Z Says or at Live More Agency. And as always, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Operations Unfiltered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend who still rocks their old Gap hoodie. I'll catch you next time.